Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I hope you're in a good mood, looking forward to some Minecraft. I know that I am. I've been itching to record all day and finally I've done all the things that I needed to do and it is time to record and have some fun. And today it's going to be epic. We are going to be building that Guardian farm, or just doing as much as we can. We still have a lot of work to do. As you can see, we've got quite a little bit of removal to do, but I just want to make a little remark. It feels very strange standing down here inside a big sandbox in the middle of the ocean. It is a strange sight to kind of be, in and around this place. But let's head over to the ladder and head up, because I kind of want to show you what this place looks like from up above. Last time we were here, and the last time you saw this, there would have been the structure of the bottom of the ocean monument, and I spent quite some time removing all of that. I was hoping to do all of the stone as well, but I just haven't had enough time. So if we just swing around here, you can see it doesn't look quite so big when you're halfway up the ladder as it does when you're down there, but we've got a fair amount of stone down here to be removing, and there's absolutely loads of gravel. I've been getting stacks of the stuff out of here. You can see a moment ago I was clearing some of it out and my inventory was full, so I just went to clear that out and then I thought I would start recording. So while I'm doing this, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. Actually, there's just one thing I want to talk about at the moment, and that is the World Tour. Now the World Tour, I think it was a success. At the time it felt a little bit like it didn't go to plan, but then I realised, the World Tour never goes to plan, does it? It's always going to be a disaster. So for those of you that were there or weren't there, what happened was we got DDoSed. We gave out the IP address, and not only were there thousands of people trying to join, there were also, thousands of other connections coming in from a DDoS attack, and we had the help of CubeHost, who were, looking over us as we were doing it and seeing that there was an attack coming in, and then they did all that they can to try and prevent that, which was really nice of them. And in the end, we actually had, it running up nice and stable, and we decided what we would do is leave the thing running for a few days so lots of people could get on there, and all of the timers were actually reset. So if you weren't able to get on there, by the way, do I have any sound? Let me just... yeah, I can hear the clicking noise, but I can't really hear... oh yeah, I can just about hear it. Okay, must be my headphones are low. So if you weren't able to get on there, the server might actually still be online, so try it if you want to go on there and see anything, because we decided to leave it on for a few days to let everyone get around. But during the stream, things got pretty negative at one point, and this is what I wanted to address. Now I'm talking about a vocal minority of people here, but at one point in the stream, there were lots of people in the chat saying nasty things. That the stream was pathetic, that, they couldn't get on and it was rubbish, and some people were saying they would unsub and stuff like that, which was really hurtful because a lot of us hermits put a lot of time and effort into that, especially xisumavoid, who spent, long time coding all of the things to make it happen, and then we got attacked and people wanted to blame us instead of the DDoSers who just wanted to, ruin people's fun. And I got kind of a bit bummed out by that. And then after I realised that the problem with the World Tour is that we try and do it as a single event. One live stream, give people an opportunity to come on. And what we're doing wrong there is we're doing something where some people will always be disappointed. The reason why is because not everyone can get on. And so for some people, the World Tour is always going to be a bad experience. And I also realised, seeing, thousands of people waiting around to get on, that it's a big deal for you guys as well. I mean, for me, it's not in a way, because I come on here and play every day, but I don't feel or think about what it's like if this was something that I was into but I couldn't come on here every day. And so it's actually a really big deal for some of you, and I could see that where people were, waiting around for a long time and then they were really frustrated when they couldn't get on. And so I think the World Tour needs to change, and what it needs to be about is getting as many people onto the server to have a look at the map as we can. So I'm thinking the next one is probably not going to be a live streamed event. It's probably going to be a server that just comes online. Maybe it stays online for a week. Everyone gets maybe an hour to look around at the entire place, and then we won't have loads of people trying to flood on and get on at the same time. We'll let each hermit kind of announce it at a different time during the week, and then that way we can accommodate for lots and lots of people. And I think that is the way that we need to do the World Tours. The last couple of times we've done these, we've always had the same problems, and we just kind of repeat ourselves. We prepare as much as we can to get as many people as we get on there, but something always goes wrong, like getting DDoSed or just too many people, and the servers can't handle it. So next time things should be a lot better, and I just kind of wanted to talk about that because I really just wanted you all to be informed on what actually happened. We did get DDoS attacked. You know, Jess had put a ton of time and effort in, so the guys over at Cubetoast, who are really awesome for giving us the server to do that. And as I said, it might even still be online. So if it is, I would have probably put a link to the new IP address in the description box. So when you're done watching this video, maybe you can go over there and check it out. But of course, I will find out if it is going to be online, and I'll put all of that information in the description box. So I've just noticed that my pick is about to run out. I absolutely love it when I catch that, because when they break, it really sucks. And although I've got a load in reserve, you know, I'll go over to the end farm and repair it straight away, just so I don't forget. But that was a stroke of fortune right there. I've got another one in here, because I knew we were going to be doing a lot of digging today. And I've made a fair bit of progress over here, dug out some under the beacon and over on this side as well. And it really hasn't taken too long, but what has taken some time is transporting the items back through the nether to my base, because these chests over here have been filling up. Look at this. We have a ridiculous amount of items. Well, that one's empty from doing all of this digging, and it got me thinking, you know, we've got to transport all of these blocks that we're going to dig up back through the nether as well, and that is going to take a fair amount of time. So what I want to actually do is just finish up the digging on this side over here, and then we'll start building the Guardian farm on this side, so we can build half of it, set it up, and then while I'm digging out the rest of the area, we can be farming some blocks, so we can get more blocks while we're digging up plenty of blocks, which I think will be a good thing. But there is something that I want to tell you about quickly. We have a new Hermit on the server. That is always exciting to say. We had a meeting not so long ago, and Topmas suggested his friend xBCrafted, and then we all went and checked him out, and he seemed like a really cool guy and someone who would fit in with the group. So we invited him onto Hermitcraft, and he joined a couple of days ago. And what we normally do is I'll say to them, you know, how do you want to join? Do you want to do anything special? How do you want to announce it? And he was just like, you know what, I'm happy to be on. You don't have to do anything special. So he joined us in the live stream on the world tour, and I guess that was how he was brought into Hermitcraft. So I wanted to let you all know that we do have a new Hermit. Be sure to go and check him out. I will, of course, put a link to his channel down there in the description box. And over the hill there, I saw a slime. And it got me thinking, while I was talking to you there, that these slimes could be a little bit of a problem, because they can spawn in light levels. Well, they can spawn in any light level would be the point. And is it me, or do they look slightly different? It's like they jump and move a little bit different. You know, we're in the pre-release for 1.8 right now, so something could be slightly different. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but something about them don't seem quite right. Anyway, I'm going to have to think about, while I'm building this, ways to prevent slime spawning, because if we're going to have this farm work the way I've got in my mind, the slimes could actually break it and be a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind when I'm doing this. So, the Guardian farm. I have started construction of this thing. Not 100% sure if this is going to work. In theory it does, but I've never done this before, so I am kind of worried that I might have overlooked something. But I've been double checking numbers, thinking about things, and this really does feel like the way to go. And by the way, I think this is about a 16th of the entire farm, so I know roughly now how many resources it's going to take me to build all of this. But if we pop down here, you can see we've got a load of the birch fence gates. That's because we're in the pre-release, so we now got the new wood, which is really cool. And it actually took a stack of the birch wood and a stack of the jungle wood to make 2 stacks of these, which is good. So there's 4 sets of these in total, like 4 stacks, so that's 8 stacks of wood that I've used so far, and that's 1/16. So we're going to use a heck of a load of resources. What I've got to actually do now is just open all of these, and because I want to make this thing nice and neat, I am of course going to open them all in the same direction, which won't really be too much of the thing, but it will look neat from down below, which is cool. So once I've opened all of them, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of blocks at this height right here, like this. I'm going to build a platform, and then on top of it we're going to make water, and then we're going to remove these blocks and let the water drain down. And of course, before I do that, I'm going to remove the blocks underneath these fence gates, and then we're going to be doing a test. I'm going to have to open and close that to get to the other side, aren't I? There we go. We want them all in the same. So the same direction. So the test that we're going to be doing is to see if the Guardians will resist the water current, because the water current is going to go directly downwards, and I'm hoping that they spawn, they get sucked down to the bottom, and then they fall down, which means that these 4 deep area of water that we have is going to make a big difference in the amount of spawning space. But if they can swim against it, then what we might actually need is just a 1 or a 2 deep bit of water. So as soon as they spawn, there's a very high chance that they're going to fall down, because they're going to be a lot closer to the birchwood here, to the birchwood fence gates. However, that makes me think that if they do get sucked down really quickly by the water current, it might be a better idea to make this thing even bigger. But at the moment, I just want to do a simple test the one time and not overdo it too much. And if it turns out that they are getting sucked down and that makes a huge difference, then I might come back here and rebuild this thing, you know, a couple of blocks lower, because that can massively increase the amount of spawning space that we have overall. So what I'm going to do now is just remove a little bit of this platform. I think the way that I'm going to do this is, it's going to be easy on the edge here. I don't want to hit the hitbox of the fence gates. Okay, so I can come back like that and just tap backwards and get all of those. That's good. But then when we go... Oh, I've missed a couple here. That's strange. But then when we get to the end and we try to do the next one... Actually, I'm just going to walk directly backwards. Oh, there we go. That's kind of the method. Okay, I'm probably going to miss a few as I go, but that seems the way to do it. Just to stand in the middle and then walk all the way back like that. Yeah, that way we're going to get all of them. So when I was thinking about what temporary material to use up here, I picked granite because when it goes down below it will be reds and all of that stuff down there will be grey, although some of it is red, and it will stand out. And you know what? It's not like they're going to be hard to see. They're items floating around on the ground. But now I realise a good reason to use dirt instead would have been that we can instant destroy this with the shovel, and the ice on top would be instantly destroyed with the pick, which just means I've got to be a little bit careful really, because we don't have that. But that's a good thing to consider when you're doing building, is that the different types of materials allow you to work with different tools. So anyway, as we break these, you know what's going to happen. We're going to fill up the entire thing with water, like that. There it goes, over to all of the sides. And now what we've got to do is remove these blocks down below. So the first ones, they're going to be pretty easy, but then the ones in the middle are going to be further away. And I think I'm just going to have to finish off by falling down below. Actually, now that I think about it, when we're in the water, it's only when our head is submerged that we're going to lose some of our instant mine effects. So what I can actually do is get down there in the water where I won't be slower because I got the depth strider. That enchantment is probably the best thing that's been added in the snapshot. I know there's been loads of awesome things in Minecraft 1.8, but the depth strider enchantment is absolutely amazing. In fact, I've got a suspicion that it's faster than walking, or maybe walking in a water stream that's moving in a direction is faster. Do you know what? We're going to test that in a little bit, because if it's so, that could be useful. You know, useful to know. Maybe you've got some sort of path that you constantly walk, and if you've got depth strider boots on, you can just put down a water stream and then go along in it, which would be pretty cool. So, this is actually going to be really easy. I thought this bit was going to be a little tricky. I don't know why. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? And there we go. We can get 3 at once. That's another thing with digging and, you know, clearing out large areas and using your tools efficiently is the way you use instant mine. Make sure you're always mining as many blocks as you can at once. And we can actually get out of here without having to go through the trap, which was what I thought we would end up doing. That looks really cool from up here. Let's jump down like that. Oh, that was cool. And let's pick up all of this before it despawns. And that certainly looks cool. So now, technically, if we've done things right, Guardians could possibly start spawning. And I haven't seen any fall down yet. So now what I got to do is just move around and wait and see what happens. We've almost got all of these, so let's go over there. I've got a feeling this thing isn't going to just start dropping Guardians out straight away. We're going to have to do some caving to light up the caves because they share the same hostile mob cap. And that's a nice sign because one has dropped out instantly. Okay, that's good. I think what I'm going to do is wait for daytime. That might mean less mobs to spawn. Probably won't make too much of a difference in this area because we're in an ocean. Well, we got the one spawn so far. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. And throw down some torches over here as well. It looks like I've missed this bit. Things are looking good at the moment. I've been seeing the occasional Guardian spawn, which is always nice when you're working in this area. And considering we've built a tiny part of this farm and there's tons of caving to be done down below, then I'd say that things are going in the right direction. So I did some testing, some kind of observing of the Guardians spawning. So while I was working in the area, I had my camera account up here. And that was in game mode free, so I could actually just stand here in the water and observe the Guardians without affecting them at all, which was really, really useful. And what I saw is that the Guardians would spawn and then they would fall down very, very slowly. Now, one of the things they seemed to be doing was spawning just below the water source blocks that we have at the top here, which made me a little bit paranoid that maybe I built this at the wrong height. And so what I've decided to do is rebuild this slightly, but you may also notice that we have these strips of blocks going down the middle, and this is because JL mentioned something to me that I forgot, which was that the downward water stream only applies if it's next to a block. So all of that space we had in the middle where the water was flowing down and it wasn't directly next to a block wasn't actually affecting the Guardians, and I could see that when I was testing. If they spawned near the edge, they would go down very quickly, and if they spawned in the middle, they would sort of fall down slowly. Now, I never saw them start swimming. It seemed like their AI didn't kick in and they would just fall down every time, but it got me thinking that perhaps what they might do is start swimming up and around and then not fall out. So it was a good idea to put in these water breakers, I guess you could call them, and overall it's going to reduce the amount of spawning spaces, but it's going to get the Guardians out of there quicker, which means they die quicker and then more Guardians can spawn. So I think this is the way to go. So what I've been doing is obviously just rebuilding this, and I kind of wanted to show you the techniques involved, because as I'm doing this, I'm learning little tricks to make it more efficient, and I like to share that stuff just in case you're ever doing really big projects. So the first one that I want to show you is that when you're placing down the blocks, if you do this, you might accidentally click on the fence gate. So if you just hold down shift, you're going to move slower, but you can hold down right click as well and move all the way across. So now I can put a platform underneath these fence gates right here. Okay, and with all of those in place, I guess the next thing to do would be to go across like this and remove all of these fence gates, because we're going to replace this bit with water, and then to the side of it we're going to have these removed and replaced with nothing. Yeah, just downflowing water. Anyway, let's put those in place. Oh, and I've actually run out. Good thing I've got some more on me. There we go, and the next thing to do is to place down a load of fence gates. So again, these things are in our way as we're placing them. It's a little bit tedious, but you just got to hold down shift and move around like this. So I like this next one because we don't have to hold down shift. What you want to do is hold down forward and then right click while you're holding down forward, and you're looking at the front of this fence gate here, and then you're going to go all the way to the front, opening all the ones at the bottom without doing the ones at the top, which is really convenient. But you must make sure you're holding down forward to do that effectively, otherwise you might accidentally open the fence gates above you. So now that we've done that, all we've got to do next is just remove all of these fence gates, and the water doesn't really affect our speed too much, but then after that we just got to go around and move all of the blocks below us, which again is just a case of holding down shift, and look, I missed one right here. Let's get that. Just holding down shift and getting rid of them like this. So this section that we first built has now been converted, and that means we've lost a little bit of spawning space. But one thing I've got to comment on is every time I go from up here to down there, it feels like a Guardian spawns as I make my way down, and that could be because we're further away from the caves at the bottom there. So hopefully as we head down here, we're going to get an extra spawn. Now I had planned on doing a fair bit more this episode, and time lately is a little bit stretched because I am hopefully going on a little bit of a break, a little bit of a holiday, where I'm going to do some recording for another cycling vlog, hopefully. Fingers crossed. The weather has to be good. I have to get all of my videos done first, of course. But what I'm thinking I will do right now is actually just build this pit a little bit deeper and see if we can kill the Guardians with full damage. And there's that guy there. Let's see how many hits he takes with just the fist. Oh, I can't seem to hit him. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 hits with the fist. That's a good sign. I think that's going to be like maybe 4 or 5 more blocks down, and then these things are going to be instant kill. We got another one as well. So I'm going to start digging down, and we want to get it to where they fall down and they die instantly, and then we can start work on a collection system. Now the plan was to actually build the proper collection system. However, what I think I'm going to do is make a temporary one as a kind of proof of concept while we do the rest of this. So anyway, I'll get to digging down, and we'll have all that ready in a moment. It is up and running, my friends. You can see we've laid down some tracks. This just goes back and forth, and we've got a hopper and a minecart here to pick up any items that fall down. Now, a while ago, one of them fell down after I dug this down by I think about 4 blocks, and I punched him and he died, and I thought that means it's just 1 or 2 more down. So I dug down by 2 blocks and spent absolutely ages kind of running around, going into different places, trying to get the mobs to spawn, and none of them spawned. So I was a little worried when I was laying this down. But as I finished building it, turns out a couple of them have spawned and they have died when they've fallen down. So this thing works, and that is awesome. So if we go around the back here, you'll see that we've got this little item unloader. So this guy goes around back and forth and picks up any of the drops from the Guardians that fall down. And then when he comes in here, he's going to... Yeah, that's right, that's powered. Yeah, that's correct. So he's going to come in here, he's going to go on the powered rail, and if he's got any items, the hopper blow is going to take it. So then the powered rail will turn off because there's a comparator here, which will stop this thing being powered. and then the items can go down into the chest, and when there's no items in the hopper, then it's going to get pushed back out like you saw there. So the track's been designed so when it's coming in, it goes in this way, and then when it comes out, it's going to go off the other way as well. And we got a couple of items. We actually got these two a moment ago, right after I set this thing up. I was watching it go around, making sure that everything was correct, and then I saw it came in and dropped off a couple of items. But still the rates are really slow, but we know now that this thing is going to work, and this is only temporary. There's some things that we need to change here. First of all, we're going to need some jack-o'-lanterns underneath, and second of all, we need something to prevent the slime spawning, and I think we may be able to do that if we use sea lanterns or glowstone down here because it's transparent, or possibly we could just make it so that on the outside of all of these rails there's, I think, maybe 5 to 10 blocks just going as far as they can in that direction, and that will mean that there's technically a block in every single place. So even though the slimes can spawn on these tracks, there'll be no air blocks to start the spawning sequence, but all of that is a long way off. Of course, this is just temporary, this is just a temporary start. Now while I'm working in the area, there's going to be guardians spawning and falling down here, and there is certainly a lot of work to be done. Look how much further we've got to dig down just for the bit below our farm. It's a heck of a lot of work, and as of right now what I'm going to do is a little bit of caving, because I found another area over here where there's some caves that kind of split off in different directions, and I think it'd be a good idea just to do some torching and see if we can improve the rates at all. But the caves down here, they are really chaotic. There's lots of them, they go in all sorts of different directions, and it's not the ideal terrain for building a farm, but you know, it's here, so we got to light it up. Diamonds! That was a pleasant surprise, wasn't it? Let's see how many we've got here. Looks like maybe a full bunch. I'm going to go get my fortune pick. And what Y level are we at? All the way down at Y12. So this thing goes down pretty low, doesn't it? Let's just actually go back up here and see at what Y level the bottom of this area is. In fact, if we just go up to this site, right, oh, there it is. There we go, 24. Okay, so that's good to know. Anyway, I'm going to go get my fortune pick and we're going to mine those diamonds. So I feel very positive about today's episode. We didn't get quite as much done as I would have liked. I'm very pressed for time at the moment. But what we got done was important and everything went right. You know, the farm is going to work. It really does look like it's going to be a successful farm. So let's mine these diamonds to end this episode. And that, I was mining diamonds. That is a rude interruption right there. You will get the sword to the face. Let's just slap some torches down in this dead end. I'll probably pick up some of this redstone as well. I'm going to use up a lot of this on those rails, aren't I? And all the redstone blocks to power them. So have a little guess if you feel like doing that as to how many diamonds are down here. It looks like a lot. And it is 21. 21. That is a lot from just 8 diamond ore. Wow, that feels really lucky. We're ending this one on a high right here. There are just 2 things I want to mention to you at the end of this video. That is that we have set up an official Hermitcraft Twitter, and that's going to post updates and news that's important about the server, and also videos from all of the hermits, and that is really bad. Let's get out of here. That almost turned around our luck right there. Now, I knew mobs could spawn down there, but I didn't think they would just because there's not a lot of air blocks around here. But maybe I should go down there and put some jack-o'-lanterns under these for now. I think that's a good idea. I'll do that in a moment. Oh, and he's bumping the minecart back and forth, isn't he? Let's see if we're shooting with the bow. So yeah, we have an official Hermitcraft Twitter, twitter.com/hermitcraft_. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that myth-busting is back. Yes, myth-busting has returned. There are lots of things that have changed in Minecraft 1.8, which means there's lots of things that I want to do episodes about. So if you didn't see the episode that came out earlier in the week on Sunday, then there is a link on the screen and in the description box. It's just all of the new blocks that are being added to the game and me testing to see if mobs can spawn on them. But that is it for this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It will always be appreciated. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.